What's up guys? Today's video comes with a lot of different lighting. It is a storm here in Dallas and it is kind of interesting because flight got canceled, got postponed all the way till 10 p.m. So I got this like 8 hours to kill. And so here we are making a YouTube video with not much lighting. Didn't bring all my equipment, just have one single light, which is right behind me. And so here we go. Let's have some fun with this. Okay guys, so major life update. This video is gonna talk to you a little bit about what it is to be a full-time photographer and videographer. And I'm not talking about owning your own business and doing that. I'm talking about actually working for a company. So just recently, I was able to finalize the deal with Sphere Rocket VA, which is based in the United States. Work with their CEO, Justin Nelson, on becoming the official content team and do all their media, right? And this includes events, travel days, travel trips, whatever they call them, masterminds, and then just shadowing and creating TikToks, Reels, Instagram stories, which are Reels, Facebook stories, as well as actual full format YouTube videos. And so the whole idea came behind the fact that I was shooting for them on retainer. I was doing one event a month with some shooting as well locally for some photos they needed or some videos they needed. And eventually the need kind of exceeded that and their vision kind of became bigger. And we settled on a deal to shoot about 12 days a month specifically for them. So what does that mean? That means in my personal business, I need to scale back on a lot of the small micro shoots that I've been doing. It also means I need to look forward ahead and start planning with Sphere Rocket on all their future trips. So that way those take priority over anything else. So it doesn't mean that I'm giving up my entire company. It means that I'm very, very picky with what shoots I have and what essentially clients I'm going to start taking on and what things the way I need to essentially shift things in my business. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about going onto this role and how this can be beneficial to you and how it could also hinder your growth and kind of my thought process and how it all went. Well, let's start off with the basics. You are a photographer, videographer, you've launched your business and you're now looking for a way to have more steady income. If you've seen my previous videos, I've kind of talked about pros and cons, and one of the cons is that your income ebbs and flows, although one of the pros is that your profit margin or your ceiling is infinitely high, right? As high as you want to make it. The con is that some months you're really great, some months you're not so great, and so it's really hard to create this consistent baseline. So part of that video, like another extra add-on, was I was talking about retainer clients and how to build like consistent income that allows you to know, hey, this is my baseline, and I kind of build on from there. Now I've had several baseline clients, several retainer clients in the past. Some have been smaller amounts for 2,000, some have been bigger amounts for 6 to 8, and those have been super, super nice. I know I'm going to hit at least $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 this month. Where can I generate an extra $10,000 or $12,000 or $14,000 so I can make this month a little bit better? Those are my other clients come in and fill in the gap. So what you need to look at is what part of the career you're in. Okay, so there's a lot of phases in which your career can be in, and if you're a beginner, we're going to talk to you first, and then we're going to kind of go intermediate. You've been doing this for a few years, you're generating close to 6 figures, and then expert, which is you're already making 6 figures or multiple 6 figures, and where does it go from here for you, right? So obviously that final part of expert, I don't have much knowledge on. I'm actually hitting that point right there right now, and so I'm kind of trying to figure out, hey, what are the next steps for me? And this is kind of the next step I took with Sphere Rocket. So for a beginner, you just picked up your camera. Let's say you're hoping to make about $40,000 a year, just shooting the things you love and living a life that you want to live instead of working your 9 to 5. That's awesome. Congrats, like you just did something that's super hard and a ton of people aren't able to do, is able to make that leap and shoot the content you want to shoot. But now here's the big thing. You end up finding a client that you love. This is super important. You want to make sure that's a company that you love and you believe in. If it's not, you're going to hate it every single moment. It's just going to be as if you just took that corporate job. So don't do that, right? You found that client you love. They approached you and said, hey, we really want to bring you in full time. We're looking to pay you $50,000 a year. Now, this is really cool, right? Your experience is minimal. Let's say you're only probably shooting photo at the time and you kind of just figuring out like, hey, what do I need to do? Like, should I take it? Should I not? Should I stunt my growth for the year? How's this gonna work out? There are 3 things that I want you to look at before you take a full-time position with any company. Number 1, you wanna make sure that the company you're gonna go full-time with matches what you want to do in the future, right? If I'm super into cars and automotive and transportation and wanna shoot that sort of stuff, I wanna make sure that my client is gonna match that field that I wanna go into. I'm not gonna start going full-time for the Food Network or someone that does recipes or someone that does fitness, because that's not what I necessarily wanna get into. So you wanna make sure that their niche matches your niche, and that way you guys can create content that is going to further your business down the road. Number 2, how is this company, what is their growth, and what is their projection for you? It's super important to have these conversations beforehand, right? Having it during is just not the move, because what happens is you're trapped in the unknown, and being in the unknown is not good for your employer and not good for you. So you want to know, hey, what are some goals that this company is hoping to achieve? How can I help these goals? And what would my position and how would my position change if we do accomplish these goals, right? You want to know, hey, will we continue growing and growing growing, and will I grow with you? And if that's the case, right, I do want to be part of this, or I don't want to be part of this, whatever you decide to choose. And number three, you want to make sure that this company doesn't tie you on and sign a non-compete or anything like that, right? That's the last thing you ever want to sign, the last thing you ever want to do. Because what it does is that's really going to limit your growth if this company ever falters, ever lets you go, or you decide it's just not the right fit. A lot of things look really good on the surface, but can be really detrimental to your business, and vice versa. A lot of things can be seen too good to be true, but in reality, actually turns out to be an awesome decision. Remember, the only time we judge bad things are when they happen to us right now, but we necessarily don't know if it's a bad or a good thing until when we're later down the road, right? We look back on these things and we realize, hey, that was actually really good for me. The fact that the pandemic kind of pushed my creative abilities and kind of pushed me into realizing these other amazing opportunities or streams of income are out there, it was actually something really beneficial to me instead of really hurting me, right? It's like I thought at the moment. And so that's really important to kind of make sure you're hitting on. Now, I worked for Sphere Rocket back in 2020. I actually did Justin's first shoot ever when he just had several VAs underneath him and he was just starting out. I remember he approached me and he asked me for some photos of him wearing a suit, just going around downtown, and everything was closed and the streets were abandoned and it was crazy. And we had an awesome shoot. We became friends, and then I didn't hear from him for a few months. He just disappeared and started working super hard and doing what he does best. I heard back from him again asking for a follow-up shoot. We did that. We started shooting some videos, some photos, and all of a sudden his business started blowing up. And it's like, hey, I need you here. I need you at this conference. And eventually we kind of had this conversation where it's like, hey, I'm gonna need you and I want you to be part of this growth. Do you believe in this company? Do you believe in me, essentially? And I was like, yeah, man, I've seen the way you grow. I've seen the way you work, and you're someone that I respect, and I know it's always in his best interest for everybody around him. And so those are people I try to surround myself with. And then all of a sudden I'm on retainer, and it's been one of my best clients I've ever had. So if you're a beginner and a company like Sphere Rocket or a client like Justin reaches out to you and wants you to be part of this growth, I would say take it. It's honestly one of the best ways to gain experience super quick, to be able to put things into your portfolio and build up that resume. And then the last bit that is so overlooked is building up that network, building up those connections that are gonna last you a lifetime, that eventually are gonna allow you to funnel your growth even more, right? Someone like Justin allows me to use and tap into his network to grow my business, because what it does is it allows him to essentially say, hey man, I'm not gonna pay you more, but I'm gonna let you tap into this network so that you can generate other streams of income. And how is that? I can talk about YouTube growth. I can talk about social media. I can talk about content creation, how to leverage virtual assistants in your editing software, and how to make those videos on the go wherever you're at. And that essentially is how I can push my business forward while also maintaining him at a high priority. So it creates this partnership between your employer and yourself. It's not just, hey, just shoot for me and that's it. It's more just like, hey man, I want to help you grow, but as long as I keep growing, you're going to grow with me. And so that's super, super essential to see. And if you have an opportunity like that as a beginner, take it, because nothing better is out there except for just the constant grind, hoping that you land someone like this amazing client. Now, there are times when you don't want to take a full-time position as a beginner photographer. And that is, like I said, if the niche is not yours, and if you truly don't believe in that company, and if you feel like the growth itself is not much. For example, if I'm making $40,000 a year and a company reaches out to me and says, hey, for the next 12 months, we're gonna give you a salary of $50,000 for that year, but you're locked in with us, right? You're full-time, you're working all the time with us, you're traveling, whatever it may be, but you're locked in. What happens is that you have to think about in your mind, am I only gonna get $10,000 of more growth for the next 12 months, right? So it really makes you think in a different way, because in reality, are you gonna be able to scale your business $1,000 more a month if you continue on your own? And the answer is, if you're grinding and you're working hard, probably, right? So that $50,000, those extra $10,000 just really aren't worth it to give up that freedom of scalability, is what I would call it, right? You kind of capped yourself because that's all you can do now. Okay, so let's say you're an intermediate photographer, you're reaching close to 6 figures and you're pretty busy. Now, this is where a lot more math and a lot more of the lifestyle kind of takes into place, because there's a way to make more money without working more, if that makes any sense, right? So you're essentially making more per client, but working less. And that's always essentially the goal for any business you create, right? That's gonna be your first course of action, right? You wanna see, hey, how fast can I grow and what can I achieve in this short time frame, and continue building up this funnel. So if a client comes out to you and offers you full-time and you're already working, let's say, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and that includes shooting and editing times, then you can always have a conversation with them being like, hey, is this really gonna increase my time spent? Am I making more dollars per hour? And if I am, how much more, and how much more will I continue growing? Because here's the thing, if you're gonna work half the amount of time and half the amount of grind for 6 figures as you are right now, yeah, there's a ceiling. Yeah, you're making the same, but it gives you the opportunity to invest time into other things like running Airbnbs or having car rentals or thinking about other side hustles or businesses you can start. For myself, I got 3 kiddos, a beautiful wife, and I really want to spend a lot of time with them. So knowing that, hey, yeah, my income may take a $20, $30, $40,000 hit, but it's going to allow me, 30, 40% more time with my family. That is completely worth it in my book, because there's no amount of money in this world that you would pay to live another day, if that makes any sense, right? Like if I offered you $1 million or the ability to wake up the next morning, if you would wake up the next morning every single time, right? Because there's no dollar amount you can put to just living this life. And I think that's amazing. By the way, that quote is, I heard it from a speaker today at this conference, so that's not my quote. And then if you're an expert and you're making multiple 6 figures, it's kind of like where I'm at right now. And you kind of just want to figure out like where essentially you're going to generate that money and how you're going to scale and grow your business, right? My avenues right now are strictly focusing on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and creating a class or like a program in which people can learn, and I can essentially leverage my connection so that people can pay me and I can help monetize their accounts and help things grow. So that's essentially what I'm striving for. Right now, my YouTube is a little over a month, I believe. We're trending to 1,000 subscribers already. We're about 751, I think, as of today. And our watch hours are at around 600 hours. And I think you need 4,000 in order to monetize. The whole idea is that I want to accomplish this within the next month. So that way I can say I can get your your YouTube monetized in a month or 2, allowing you to already grow your side business or whatever it is. And that's utilizing creating videos, the how-to, the SEO, all that we're taking care of. And so that's essentially my next path of my business. Okay, so not to go into the complexities of the deal, but essentially the way our deal is written up with Sphere Rocket is super simple. I have 12 full days with them a month, and those are dedicated days in which they schedule me out and I cannot schedule anything else over them. I'm to deliver many TikToks, many Reels, many YouTube videos, and essentially create our own platform to build not only the brand of the business, but also Justin's brand. And so what's happening is I'm creating 2 different pieces of content for 2 different businesses, because one is more of the virtual assistant business and the other business is his personal brand, and which is going to sell in speaker gigs, appearances, podcasts, coaching calls, whatever that is. That's essentially the full goal. And so what happens is that I was able to meet with the COO of the company as well. We had to sit down and kind of explain his vision for my role and how it could grow, and then kind of explain, hey, this is also the vision of the CEO and how he wants to grow. How can we make that a thing? Now, that's the conversation we had, and from there we just kind of built on this plan of generating massive amounts of content in order to make it work. Now, one of the great benefits of this company is that it comes with their editing team. So I get to edit all the things that are required immediately, but the editing team is editing everything that is gonna scale down or flow through the funnel eventually. And so what that does is it takes essentially 12 days of editing work that I would have had, right, of late nights or early mornings or whatever it may be, and it puts it into this other team that they are providing, that they're paying for, and it's pretty awesome. Now, I have my own editing team. They're amazing. I'm still using it for some content. They edited a couple of videos from the event that I just shot here, and they're gonna be trained in doing the specific things that I want to accomplish, typically the longer format YouTube videos or the more high-end, high-scale stuff that I want to do, like maybe much more cinematic, more videography, since my team is super well versed and edited on that. Either way, guys, I hope that kind of like gave you a little bit of insight. I know this is a super specific video about becoming a full-time photographer. I honestly missed out a ton of important details, because honestly this video could go on for an hour or 2 and there could be a whole thing about it. If you have any questions, reach out at the bottom below. I'd love to answer them. If you're an aspiring photographer and you want to make your first $20,000 or $30,000, or you want to make your first $1,000 a month, it doesn't matter. Just reach out. I'll help you find a way, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing. I'll help you find a way to get that, because honestly I think it's attainable for everybody. If I was able to hit 6 figures in less than a year, I think it's possible for most people to do that. So either way, guys, like, comment, subscribe, whatever people do these days, and hit you guys up later.